Welcome into the Lycamobile Jaguars Jam, Week 6. The Jags and the Dallas Cowboys coming up. J.P. Shadrick and linebacker Leon Jacobs with us today. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So, big game this week in Dallas, Jerry's World and all that. America's team. You fired up for this one?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited for it. It's my third time playing here. I played at Western College, so it's my first time playing there in the pro, so it should be good.
The Wisconsin Badgers got around a little bit when you were in college.
Oh, yeah.
So they got to see Jerry's World a couple times. So this is a UK-based show. We've got questions from UK media and UK fans. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Let's get right to it then. Now, the first question today from Roger Goodgroves of Double Coverage. What has been the hardest thing to adjust to between college and the pros?
For me, the formations the offensive teams run, the plays. They have so much stuff going on in the backfield, a lot of eye candy. So that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, Big Ten football is a lot of I formation and 3 yards in a cloud of dust, right?
And then, more teams recently have been getting, into spread, like Ohio State. Yeah. But, yeah, it's a lot of I formation.
Yeah, like Iowa or something. That's what I think of when I think Big Ten ball. Anthony Wooten of Love Sport Radio. Now, there's a lot of talkers on this defense. His question is, who barks in your ear the most?
Oh, Telvin Smith. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not really shocked by that at all, by the way. Is it motivational? Is it getting on you? Is it both? Or is he just generally talk?
For the most part, he's always talking, just alerting us on before plays, and he'll let you know if he makes a player. And then obviously if I'm not doing something that I should be doing, he'll let me know. Yeah, same with Calais too.
Yeah, both the defensive captains for a reason. They're vocal leaders on this football team. Let's go to a fan question now. Zoe Spinner asking you, what is your game day nutrition routine, and what do you eat and when? Interesting.
Okay, so if we have a game at 1, I'll get down about 9:30. I have like a little bit of spaghetti with a little meat sauce, and then
at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 9:30 in the morning, and then just a little bit, like a little steak, probably like big as my fist.
Okay,
that's it.
That's a large steak, though, by the way.
All right. Then a little than that. But yeah, that's it. I don't want to eat too big. Keep my stomach nice and going for the game.
And I feel that we need to follow up on this here because of the nutrition and your workout regimen. You were known a little bit for that in college, the workout stuff. That took off pretty quickly, I think, once videos and photos came out of you in the weight room. Right? And that process still continues for you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big part of your success over the years.
Yeah, I think for me it's important. I got to still stretch and stuff, but, yeah, me being my physique, that helps me a lot.
Yeah, especially at this level with big players running around everywhere. Another fan question here. Tom McDowell, what is the biggest lesson you've learned since entering the NFL?
Yeah, don't take anything for granted. You see this was week 6, and you see players come and go. So, you just got to go hard every play because you never know when that might be your last play. So that's just the biggest lesson I've learned so far.
Yeah, we found that this week, all the transactions this week, especially on the offensive side this week and the other side. But, yeah, it can happen at a moment's notice too, right? Guys can come and go, and things change, and the way teams are playing changes. And you got to enjoy the moment, right?
No doubt.
No doubt about that. Let's go to a media question now. Alex Johnson of Give Me Sport. London in 2 weeks' time to face the Eagles. Are you looking forward to that trip? Do you look that far ahead yet?
No, I really don't. I'm just focused on Dallas. But, when that time comes, I will. I've never been to London before.
Never?
Never been. I've been in Europe, but never London.
You might not have much sightseeing time knowing the Jaguars trip here. You leave Thursday, get there Friday, practice, and then ball game Sunday, go home. But if you had more time in London, what would be the first thing you'd like to see? Not that you'll get to see it in 2 weeks. But
probably Buckingham's Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if the Queen's home or not. Right? Yeah, check it out. Yeah. Good stuff. And that's 2 weeks away, the Jags and the Eagles coming up at Wembley Stadium. Let's go to a fan question now. Ben Houghton asking you, what age were you when you first started playing football?
So that's a tricky question because tackle was freshman year in high school. But I did flag when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Okay, you did flag football for a number of years and then transitioned to the tackle game later.
Yeah, I did tackle freshman year, then I didn't play again until senior year in high school.
So you stopped?
Yeah, I stopped sophomore and junior year. Sophomore year I played 1 game, but I don't count that.
Why'd you stop?
I went to a basketball school, and I just didn't play football.
That's okay, and you got back to it, and it's worked out pretty well for you over the years here. Roger Goodgroves, back to a media question, double coverage. You played a lot in college, but not much the first few weeks of the NFL season on the defensive side. How has the adjustment been to your role here with the Jaguars? Because you're used to being on the field all the time at Wisconsin. I think you have the record for most games played in FBS history. And now it's depending on the situation you're in the game. How is that adjustment for you?
I mean, it's my role, you know. I got to do it right. Obviously, I'm here for a reason. I'm gonna go ahead and do it 100%.
Yeah, and it's part of a defense that brings guys in and out.
Yeah,
that's how that is, right? And there's all kind of guys that can go play different roles for this defense. Fan question, Mitch Moth. What are the biggest differences between playing Mike, Sam, and Will? Do you have a personal preference? I know when you're on the defensive side, it's the strong side for the most part. So what's your experience in those positions, maybe in college even?
So with Mike, and this is a 4-3 scheme. So with Mike, obviously he's like the quarterback of the defense. He makes all the calls. And then with Will, they're kind of always to the boundary side of the play. They're usually flat, you know. And then the Sam, he's just in the edge, usually in the flat. So that's the biggest difference. And I don't have a personal preference for any of them. I think they all have their good stuff that they do, and you can make it work for any position. For
this defense, I mean, Myles Jack is the Mike linebacker, calls the defense. He's the guy in the middle going everywhere, getting everybody in the right place.
Yeah.
And then Telvin Smith is on the weak side, the guy that can fly around and do all that stuff. You're the bigger, strong side, set the edge type of guy.
Yep, set the edge, get to the flat.
I like that. There you have it. There's the explanation. Let's get to our final question today, a question of the week from the UK's JagTag participants, brought to you by LGT Vestra US, a simplified version of American football played in elementary schools, high schools, and community projects around England. Over 3,000 participate. This week's question is from Thomas Skevington, 13 years old, of All Hallows School in Farnham, Surrey. As a rookie on the team, what have you learned from the likes of Myles Jack and Telvin Smith, veterans on this roster?
So I'll start with Myles. From him, like, he never, rarely gets a check wrong, and he always wants to be so correct. And I think just from a young guy looking at that, you can appreciate his attentiveness and, with every play and how he wants to be correct, because that's a player that wants it. And then with Telvin, before every play, he alerts you to stuff, and he's just a true vet because he knows what's going to happen. Even though he might not know what the play is, he'll fall right into it just because, his football awareness and football savvy. So those are some two guys, just the way they play, their smartness, and just, the want they got to play football.
The football IQ stuff, though, you got to go study and be ready for that. Is that maybe a different level than college of that kind of thing?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there'll be some plays where Telvin will know what's happening. I'm like, how do you know that? Just from, like, little film study. Yeah.
Big game this week. Jags, Cowboys. You guys are confident to get back on track here, right?
Yep.
This week?
Yep.
Should be a fun one. We appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Leon Jacobs, Jaguars linebacker, joining us, and he'll have an autographed football for somebody who submitted a question a little bit later. That's it for the Lycamobile Jaguars Jam.